Stampin' friends. Tonight we're going to use this Butterfly Brilliance set. The stamps are in this shape here and they're stuck together. And I'm going to be showing you, I think I'm going to cut them apart, but I'm going to show you first how, a couple ways to use them without cutting them apart. So just kind of some ideas on how to use this stamp set. I bought them in the bundle, which means that it comes with the dies that you see here. For me, being an Oklahoman, this one could be used to look like a monarch, and this one looks like a swallowtail or some of those types, butterflies. So it comes with this if you get it in the bundle or if you get it in the suite. Now then the suite comes with these pretty papers. The colors in the papers are black, basic black, Bermuda Bay, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, Mango Melody, Mint Macaron, Misty Moonlight, Poppy Parade, So Saffron, and Whisper White. And then there are also a few other colors in there that I'm not totally sure what color they are. So maybe they're an in-color preview. They haven't really said that, so probably not, but to me they kind of look like it. One other thing, I wanted to make sure everyone is getting my newsletter. The newsletter is easy to sign up for. You can sign up for it on Facebook or YouTube or on my blog. So I'm going to finish talking about this paper. So this is the paper that you can cut out with the big die. So there's the little dies that I showed you, but then there's the big die that cuts out all of them together. So I'll show you that in just a bit. And then there are several other pieces of paper. I want to show you all of this here. It gives you 8 of each one. So the back side of the ones where they're cut out is this pretty pastel. And then one side of it is like this, and the background is pretty blue, and to me almost amethyst. I don't know if you remember that color of Butterfly with the pool party. And then the next one, this is kind of a little gradient, kind of a ombre or rainbow kind of a look. And the back side of it is a pink and yellow. And maybe orange, I guess you'd say too. And this one is my favorite. It is monarchs, kind of in a little sky with clouds. The back side is not exciting. They assume that you love that one as much as I do, I guess. And it's just kind of a mottled background. So the back side of it is just some circles in, I'm thinking that's Bermuda Bay, and then it has Bermuda Bay and Marvelous Magenta, kind of like a watercolor like on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you several things with this. There we go. So this is the paper, and here you can see where I've already cut out these pieces. I ran that die through, and it perfectly cuts out these guys. And I just have this color here to show you because I thought it showed up nicely on this color. This is the Mango Melody. So you can see here it has a lot of variety in the colors. Now the only thing I don't know necessarily is what you're going to do with this. So maybe you can run a strip, a small strip of this side piece onto your card somehow. I think that could be really cute. So that could be something that you could use. Otherwise, there's a little bit of wasted space on this, but I mean, this side could be pretty too. So anyway, so there's that. So you end up with all of these different ones. Now there are 8 sheets of this. So I don't think anyone will have any trouble using these pretty little guys. And as you do this, you can always bend up the leaves and do all of the cute things. Now, one option that I considered, we have the little dies that cut these out with little intricate stuff. You can put a die cut vellum on top of that. And I think that would be really pretty. Just stick it on with a glue dot. And then you'll have 2, I'm not sure I'm getting this up where you can see it, I'm sorry. So you can see that will just add a little more texture to the look of the, well, I don't have it on there correctly, but there we are. So you can see it'll add just a little more texture to what you're doing there. So kind of cutesy. Okay, so there's that. I wanted to show you how you could use these just without, or you can maybe add a little extra with putting a vellum layer over the top. And it almost, I guess my deal with vellum is I like how it kind of almost looks like they're moving. So that's why I was thinking that would be cute. Okay, so there is that. So we'll try to put those on a card here in a minute, but I'm just going to set them aside so I can show you a couple of other ways to use it. this is so saffron, and so what you have dies that cuts out, you know, like what we use to cut out these designer series papers, they'll also just cut out a plain butterfly back. So I loved how this looked with the black intricate on top of it. To me, this just almost looks like a swallowtail, and you haven't even stamped it yet. So I loved how that looked. And around here, sometimes through the year, we will get some that have a teal or a kind of a pretty little, I don't know if you'd call it brilliant blue maybe, but I thought this one kind of replicated that a little bit. And I'm just imagining putting some gorgeous Wink of Stella over this one or something. So there's another one that I think would be really cute. And then I was thinking with this one, that it looked like a monarch. So, and we get those through in the fall. And so I was thinking that would be a really pretty one to add to that other paper, perhaps. Another thing I would consider doing is adding some of my white chalk marker and putting that in the, because you know, monarchs have that little bit of white on the edge that kind of makes them really show up. So after I stuck this down, I might want to just go ahead and put that on the orange here to make that pop out, or maybe I would even want to back this in some white down the sides because that kind of gives it a little more emphasis. Okay, so there's that option, and I just wanted to show you how this looks over the plain paper. Very pretty, kind of gives it a light, kind of an airy look. The vellum over regular cardstock. And then I also liked cutting this out. This is the one of the papers. And so I like how this looks cut out on here. You could use basic white, of course, as well. But this shows it with the vellum. So you can see kind of how that looks. And I love kind of even how the vellum curls up because it gives it kind of a look of movement. And then this batch has, on this side, you wouldn't necessarily want to use that. Whereas, you know, this is a little less obvious, but what it is basically here is a smaller version of the large guys that we did earlier. They're just shrunk down on this one. So, but I like how these look. So if you're trying to make several cards alike, or make several cards in a short amount of time, I like how this looks on there. I just think that it doesn't really matter what color you use, but it's really pretty. Yes, the dies, all of these dies come with it. So there's a big die that cuts out the shape of the stamp, which I'll show you in a second. I'm sorry, it's kind of a lot, but there's the die that cuts this out. That's all one piece, that's all connected, and it cuts these guys out. So then to me, this makes a great template to use when you're stamping. So what I'm trying to decide, and I think I might just go ahead and cut those stamps apart because I can always line them up on a template that I cut with that die and use them one at a time to cut the very one that I want to use. But we'll get to that in a second. So, and then it also comes with these dies that that were on the, here. They're here on this magnet. And it has bricks, like a brick background, and then this is like hashes that cut just little slashes in the paper, and then some little circles and some little tiny small butterflies too. But you can see here, this is the one that cuts the monarch. This cuts some of the, and they've actually told us this time exactly what they were going for on these butterflies here. Of course, the big ones, of course, they're going for a swallowtail, but these others are from ones in Europe and Australia. So I thought that was kind of cool of them to tell us, because I always like to make things look authentic sometimes, just kind of for fun. But anyway, this is the intricate parts of these, so that for this black. Now this looks great too if you want to put this on the background here, but I kind of like the way it looks with the yellow. So you can see here's some more. I'll show you this one real quick. And they all line up with the one that goes with them neatly. So this is one that's like a kind of a blues and aquas, a little bit of green in it. So you can see here there's a lot of variety in both the paper. Oh, the back side of this was the almost amethyst looking color, and maybe it's a gray, I'm not sure, and then kind of a coastal cabana or a pool party. All right, so there's a lot of choices on this, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get started. I'm going to kind of made a mess here from all the little cutout pieces, because sometimes I don't get them all cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of different ideas that I had, and because it's hard to cover up this paper because it is so pretty, and I felt like, oh, I don't really want to cover it up. I'd really rather show it off. So you can see here what I was doing with this was just kind of bringing out the colors. This color is not exactly a color we have, so I thought it looked good with the pool party and just kind of looked happy, but it's not necessarily matchy-matchy. So I thought this was a great layout, and then I thought it might be gorgeous to have, let me go ahead and, now what I usually do, whoops, that has a spot in it there. A couple little pieces are sticking that shouldn't be. You can use a scoring tool down each side with a straight line, or you can just do it with your fingernail and just kind of create where it will be able to bend when you do that. And then that way it'll fit nicely in there, and you can stick down the butterfly's body. There we go, sorry. The butterfly's body to the background piece. So to me, I thought this could be really gorgeous with this. I'm gonna wait and decide if I would like to use maybe the stamped part of this. But I thought this was a really cute one, a cute way to use this particular one. And then I liked this idea with, and to me, the Gorgeous Grape looks good with this. The Highland Heather and the Purple Posy are a little bit pink with this paper, so maybe it is supposed to just be Gorgeous Grape. So what I was doing here was just kind of working on making it a some kind of a little sketch that we could put our sentiment and our little butterfly on here. So with this one, I was kind of thinking it could be pretty to use this paper and put it on there kind of like that. Let me turn it around. I'm sorry, I do that all the time. So you can see there, I could imagine using that. And then one other one. This is the smaller, kind of like the original, but like a background piece. And I layered it using the mint macaron and the So Saffron. And so I just kind of did it like that. And then I was imagining maybe putting on this one, maybe one of the ones that are actually in this. So I thought that those look really good together. So it would just depend on which one you like the best, or you could just do them all. The reason I'm cutting this paper a little smaller is because I like the idea of getting a lot of use out of this. So to me, the more I can use this paper, you know, I could have filled the background with it, but I can get several pieces out of this, out of a 1 6x6 piece of cardstock. So I liked the idea of doing that. And this one may be the prettiest with it, you know, using the swallowtail colored one. So anyway, so that's one possibility. So now I'm going to show you my stamping on this. So I probably won't spend a lot of time trying to show you coloring, because you can either decide to color them, you know, accurately, quote unquote, or you can decide that you want to make, you know, pink butterflies and, you know, colors that you may not normally see. Okay, so you can see what I did here. I cut it with my big open die, and then I used the piece I cut out of, which is the black, to just put some white, and I cut it in white, of course, too, but then I used the white pieces to put here in the little holes. Then I lined this up in the holes. Now we'll see how well I did that. Sometimes I have to, let's see, what color are the butterflies laying to the side that look kind of orange? Oh, they're, that's the one I was showing with this one. They're pumpkin pie. So I just did, in order to get this one, I just punched them all out. Or die cut them all out. You could use smaller pieces. Like if you cut a piece, like for this one, you could just cut a piece that's about 2.5 by 2 and put that under the spot of the die where it is, like, you know, just slide it under like that. You're going to get some little bits and pieces that it will cut from the other ones, like from, you know, from the corners. but that allows you to just get it where you want it, because it is one big giant piece, except for, you know, these little guys that I showed you stuck on the magnet, sorry, they are separate, so you can cut these out by themselves, but this is all one big one. So you would need to cut your paper so that you can use this with just, you know, if you wanted to make a whole bunch of this one and you didn't need all of these. So that's just an idea. Okay, so what I'm showing you here, this is probably not going to be perfect the first time when I stamp it, just because sometimes it doesn't work out and I was kind of running slow today. So anywho, I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my Memento Black. And the reason I'm using that is because, let me scoot this up just so you can see as I'm inking, because I like to add blends, colors from the blends, and that works really well. It also is fine with the watercolor crayons if you let it dry for a day or so. Just, you don't want to have any smearing of the ink itself. So if you know you're going to watercolor and you don't want to wait, you can use our Stays On ink. So that, you know, is an option too. Now, one thing, you know, normally when you do something like this, you're able to hold down your paper. This isn't quite as easy to hold down. These are probably going to stick. So I need to do a good job of inking this up. Make sure that it looks really shiny and has plenty of ink on it, because I probably won't get a second chance on this one exactly. Okay, so down I go. And what I'm going to want to do is press really close in the corners, because this is pretty close up here. It may not even work. I may have to scoot it back a little and try again, but we'll see. Okay, I'm trying to get these all inked up here. What I'm trying to do is push each one down so I do a good job. And I'm trying to do that real quick. Make sure I got all the spots that could possibly not be well done. So let's see how it went. Yeah, it was a little off down here, so I'll want to scooch it just a little bit. It's the bottom of it is just a little bit off, but I think you can see how pretty these guys are and how, I don't know if you would call it intricate, but how nicely designed this stamp set is. It has so many, it has details and texture that are within the stamp set that I really like the way that looks. It has such a realistic look. And I'm imagining putting it, you know, in the center of a card with like I guess you'd say sketch I did last week that had the oval occasions. I think it would be pretty to do basically that same sketch and put a butterfly right in the middle. I think that could be super gorgeous. So anyway, I think you can see, I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, even though it didn't turn out exactly like I wanted, and show you how nicely detailed that stamp is. So I can easily fix that. Let me show you what I will do to fix that. I will lift up, hold on just a second. I will lift up this piece here, and I will scoot this over just a little, because like the top was fine. It's the bottom that needs a scooch. So it's just a little too far up. So I need to kind of scooch it down a little and try to get them in there. But I think for my own use, it will be really easy if I just go ahead and cut these apart and then use just one at a time, because I also think it would be really pretty to stamp on the envelope with some of these, and just I think it would make it a more versatile set. Now some demonstrators actually had one set like this, and since it was $17 for another set, they just bought a whole nother set. But I'm not sure that that's necessary, because I'm not sure how many times. This is actually larger. You know, this is a 6-inch piece of cardstock here. So like you can tell that from this. This is our full 6x6 sheet. This is actually too big for a piece of cardstock, or our size, American size cards. So you wouldn't be able to get all these. Some would be falling off the edge. So my thought is, why would I leave this all together if I'm never going to stamp it on a card together? Because I can still, taking them apart, stamp all over like that. Let's see now, where was I? Anyway, I was saying I think I probably will go ahead and cut these apart, but do you see these holes that are in here? I have seen people use that with our giraffe stamp or with a cow stamp, and they save these little pieces and put them all on a block. So I did that too. I just saved the pieces, and they just kind of make them where they kind of curve around each other a little more than I have it here. And then they stamp this over and over, or they take a couple off, 2 on one and 2 on the other, and they make that. I don't know if you can imagine that, but it looks really cool. And they can stamp that in a giraffe shape, or, spread it out a little and make it a cow shape or something. So that is another fun thing to do with this stamp set, and get a little more use out of the stamp set than you even normally would. So I think that I will have a lot of fun putting these together and making some little cards using this. And yeah, it'll be hard to decide how whether I'm going to use the stamp, like use this, maybe add with some, see this isn't exactly a monarch here, what it stamps, but there's a lot of different ways to put this together. I think I would like to use it with the, with this intricate look here. I think that might be the way to go on that. Whereas some of these others might look gorgeous on, like, for example, maybe this one might be pretty, to put that on there. So I think blends would look good, but I also think that using our, whatchamacallums, sponge daubers, gosh, that's crazy, to just add color here and there will also be a fun way to do. I guess I could show that real quick. That won't take too long. Maybe I can come up with some that have ink on them already, and then you won't have to even wait at all. Let's see here, like with this one. To me, this one is almost a moth, but anyway, maybe put some purple here and there. No, maybe not. That was Highland Heather, so let me look for that one real quick. Oh, that didn't sound good, did it? Okay, here we go. All right. Just put some purple on it. So this would be a way, if you're going to use this, you could use mostly purple and then black, and then add more colors. Maybe you want to put, typically blue and orange, red and green, purple and yellow, and variations of those colors look great together. So maybe you could go on the edges and put some saffron or some, what do you call it? Gosh, I'm having trouble with the names of things tonight. Daffodil. I'll get some saffron real quick. And we'll just kind of go around the edge of that. And this will take but a second. So you can see this is probably the fastest way to color it. If I were using the blends, that would have taken me infinitely longer. And it wouldn't be as natural looking as this kind of seems to be. So there you can see. I mean, that was super quick. Go over that with some Wink of Stella, and you're basically finished. And it's a pretty thing that you can use to match any paper that maybe you're wanting to use. Perhaps you're wanting to use some of the hydrangea paper. Think how gorgeous these would be putting it with the hydrangea florals. I thank you all for watching, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with this set. Bye.